So milk, I like milk, I love milk.
We know.
Yes, you know, I know that you know. And actually, in English, it's not that explanatory what in English we are called mammals, but in Russian it's like milk eaters, if we want to describe the same concept. And what's special about it, I mean for us, for me, for example, we are special in this regard because other animals, other mammals don't drink milk when they're adults. And I'm an adult and I drink milk and I love it. So why? Because it's always a question. In biology there is always a reason, there is always a cause. And if you research a bit, you'll find out that there is a very interesting chain of events that actually affects us even now and in the past and in the future. So I'll start from the past. Let's go back 100,000 years. At that time, imagine our ancestors, our great fathers and mothers, and they were hunted down by saber-toothed tigers and other big cats, and we didn't have enough food. It was survival of the fattest, not of the fittest at that time, but it was more or less the same, because we didn't have enough food, so no one could get weight, extra weight. So at that time it was a big problem with the feeding, with the food, and this part of lineage, I mean all mammal animals, they got fed by milk up to the certain point while they're infants, while they're little offsprings. And then this capacity, this ability, it decreases over time. And then it doesn't stop, but it's on a very low level compared to the infant. So why? This is very reasonable because as a child grows, he can eat himself, and mother body doesn't need to breastfeed him anymore. It's to use resources for these, and she can switch to another offsprings. And in this way they don't compete too much, I mean the older offsprings and the youngest ones, and thus the milk digestion, it turns off. And it was the same in humans for many thousands years, up until the point, flash forward like 90,000 years. Approximately 7,500 years ago, we had a little mutation somewhere in Central Europe. So there was an individual that has a positive mutation that caused one of the genes. It was broken, but broken in a good way, because it was a gene that turns off the digestion of the milk. So there was a person at that time who didn't have this gene because it was broken, it was a mutation. And this person, it has, she or he, so it had capability to process milk long after they come out of the infancy. And thus, it was a very positive change in the way the body survives, because if you have this extra milk and no one else can digest it and you can, and you have an access to this milk, it means that you have more resources available to you, and you can propagate the genes into that gene pool, and your offsprings will have more resources to it, and so on and so on. So right now it's known, it's calculated that on average such populations, such groups have 19% more offsprings than the organisms, and the humans, because it's only the humans that can't process milk. So it was very useful And it wasn't possible like 100 years ago, because 100 years ago we didn't have access to extra milk, and we couldn't digest it. And some time ago, like 7,500 years ago, we had one person that managed to do it. So the genes spread, and right now in the world we have approximately 30% of people that can digest milk, and that who love it like me, almost like me, I don't know. So now it's more or less 30%, and it depends on the country where I live in, because various cultures, various peoples have various percentage of this digestion capability. And this is the history of how this positive mutation spread through 100 years. And right now it's very, very important till the day, because right now milk market is a huge market. It's billions of dollars per year. And also, believe it or not, but cattle, it causes around 20% of the greenhouse effect. So right now it's huge. We consume it, and it affects many sides of our lives. And what I want to say in the end, that it was very positive change in the past. It was important for us all. It has huge impact on the humanity right now, not like previous days. In other ways, we don't propagate these genes anymore in the same proportion, but it affects the economy on scale. And it will be very important in the future, because even if we digest ordinary pills with all the minerals and nutrients, and we'll be living in the space, and we'll never see cows and the milk, we'll still remember about the milk, because our galaxy is called Milky Way, so it's forever.